Samakoro National Association of Data Protection Officers of the Philippines. Topic: Build and sustain cyber AI DX and data resilience through GRC.
So that's why the focus of our organization right now is not just security, not just protection, but resilience. In Filipino, I think the best word to describe resilience is it's not tatag, it's not tibay, it's bang agad. Being able to bounce back, stand up, bang agad. I think that's the best Filipino word to describe resilience. This is just my 3x3. I was a corporate worker for Microsoft, Yahoo, and Intel. I spent 2 decades in these companies, and then I shifted. I started being an advocate for data protection, cloud security. That's why I wanted to co-found Cloud Security Alliance, and of course, Philippine PhCert, just founded in 2000. Nobody was here. I'm also a creator for data protection and data privacy frameworks, platforms, solutions, and tabletop. The one at the far end, if you've experienced one of our events, we do a tabletop simulation, like this one, on cybersecurity, data privacy, even digital transformation. Okay, that's my short intro. Okay, we're now in the fourth industrial revolution, right? So I 4.0, moving to the fifth. And when there are shifts in innovation, when there are massive, adoption happening right now, there's a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt that happens, right? And how do we cope as humans? And we put a name to it. We put a name to our fears, whether they are business fears, career fears, etc. You're familiar with this term, right? VUCA and BANI. BANI is a town in Pangasinan, by the way. So these are acronyms that actually describes the world that we live in, driven by businesses who are grasping, looking for solutions. VUCA stands for volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And recently, during the pandemic, it's emerged BANI, which stands for brittle, anxious, non-linear, and incomprehensible. BANI can also apply to individuals in our organizations. Brittleness, for example, is fragility. A few days ago, there's a survey from PwC that says that 54% of Filipino CIOs believe that their businesses are going to close down if they do not rethink what they have to do. Imagine that, more than half of our local businesses believe that they are in danger right now. Okay? They have to rethink what they have to do. Okay? It's not just VUCA and BANI that's driving right now. Let me introduce another term called RAPEX. Sounds like a Duran Duran song to those of you in the States out there. So it means rapidly changing and complex, right? An environment that's RAPEX is rapidly changing, complex, and unpredictable. How many of you here are in RAPEX mode right now? If you experience a breach, you're in RAPEX mode, right? If one of your people, for example, inadvertently opened a port that's exploited, you'll be in RAPEX mode. Are you still with me? Okay. Nagpatenda na ba kayo? Okay. And then, this story happened in February, right? It's a very elaborate scheme, that cost a financial organization $25 million. This finance person was invited to a video conference by a CFO. Of course, he attended, right? And when he went there, in the conference, the CFO, along with some other colleagues, were there. It's like living, breathing video images, right? So he was ordered eventually to transfer $25 million worth, that's in Hong Kong dollars, right? To an account. Okay? That's supposed to be the end of it, but he found out that the CFO was a deepfake image, along with his colleagues. Okay? This can happen to anyone. Anyone of us right now. This deepfake technology plus social engineering, Of course, the system was gamed, right? They know what happens inside. They know who, signs the checks, right? And who releases it. Very elaborate scheme. And what drives VUCA, BANI, and RAPEX? There are several drivers of dissonance, misinformation, disinformation, that we experience every day. Malapit ng election, di ba? Okay? And of course, malign influence. There are foreign states, that want to influence how the Philippines goes in political, economic, and social directions. Right? And of course, digital transformation. We were forced by the pandemic to go DX. And if it's unplanned or unmanaged in your organization, it's going to create digital dissonance. Okay? And of course, AI. It's something right now. As you speak, the media is launching an AI center for the Philippines. So thank God for that, right? And then, of course, our industry, social engineering and cyber threats. And this is the heart of this conference right now. So leads me to the definition, or how do you manage all of these threats that we experience every day, 24 by 7. Hindi nga natutulog ang mga season, di ba? So that's why that's our norm. No? So resilience, by definition, being able to absorb stress, recover critical functionality, etc. Again, bouncing back from a setback. And setbacks right now are not just one-off. Sometimes they're multiple. Okay? We have a member organization, they suffered 2 breaches. Hindi pa tapos yung isa, may sumunod. So how do you manage that? Right? Imagine the loss of productivity, the stress that the team, the breach management team, has to undergo. That's why our shifting our focus not just from security or protection, but on resilience. Okay, so let me introduce you to how you can achieve resilience to the theme of my talk: governance, risk, and compliance. Any GRC practitioners here? Okay, this is actually a 20-year-old concept by GoSec, but right now it's emerging because the governance factor in cybersecurity specifically is now in the board level. It's defined as being able to achieve your objectives, again, that's governance, addressing uncertainties, risk management, and acting with integrity and compliance. Let's go through them one by one quickly, right? So governance, by definition, leading to at least the first system of framework or rules, processes, practices, structures put in place to guide and oversee the operations and decision making. Okay? I'm giving a copy of the slide to the organizer, so you have to take a photo. And then there are mechanisms that helps you to directly control. And again, to help accountable to stakeholders, including shareholders. Accountability is key in governance. If it's not written down, then who will you go after in case something happens? Okay? And it sets a tone for how you operate. And then how you operate should be ethical and being a responsible corporate citizen. And then this is the key for governance. It should be aligned with your VMV, your vision, mission, and values. Apologies for the typo. Anything that you do also in cybersecurity should be aligned with your VMV, your vision, mission, and values. Okay. So it's essential ensuring long-term success. Let me show you some examples of governance: corporate, enterprise, public, and public, global ICT, cybersecurity, etc. So ideally, in some organizations, cybersecurity governance is under IT, but sometimes it can cause conflicts of interest. How will the cybersecurity or the CISO, for example, if the breach happens in the domain of the CIO, how will you, for example, investigate your boss? Again, it depends on your organization, how you're going to structure your governance framework. But it begins with the owner of your company. If it's not there, for example, if cybersecurity is not called out, explicitly along with AI, DX, etc., it won't matter because it's not written down. It won't be funded, it won't be supported, there won't be headcount allocated to it. It's an uphill struggle if your board is not on board with cybersecurity. Okay. Last 5 minutes, risk management. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with this. A chief risk officer right now is one of the present facts, right? You're seeing a lot of chief risk officers growing their practice, right? And going deep in risk management. It's defined as identifying, assessing, prioritizing, mitigating risk. It may affect achievement. Again, any risk could impact how you do business, how you deliver services, should be considered as a risk. Okay? Systematic analysis is critical. And of course, implementing strategies to mitigate. I'm going to show you later a framework, a simple framework to manage risk. And of course, it aims to increase the likelihood of achieving risks while minimizing the negative impacts of uncertain events. So minimize it. Don't have to experience multiple breaches at the same time. Okay? So, these are types of businesses that we did, operational, financial, etc. But the last one is the most critical. People risk. If you have a risk registry, you need to work with your HR to come up with a people risk registry. Okay?
Because again, people are our weakest link, although they're also our strongest link. And how do you categorize this? This is a common 4x4. Right? So it's a risk map, before and after view, impact times probability. I'm sure you've used it. But what's important here is what goes after. How will you mitigate those risks? Normally, it's people, process, and tech, or in case of data protection, of course, organizational, physical, technical measures, right? I'm going to give you a simple formula. You're familiar with this one. Okay, it's SMART goals. When you mitigate risk, it has to be secure and private by design. The measures that you're going to do. It should be measurable, accountable. There should be someone, who will own it. The measure that you're putting in place. Of course, digital rights driven and time bound. Okay? SMART goals adopted from business SMART goals. Jesus to compliance, this is the last the acronym, right? So compliance defined as the act pertaining to laws, regulations, standards, guidelines, and internal policies relevant to organizations, operations, and activities. Those of you that belong to critical information infrastructure are going to be impacted by the National Cybersecurity Plan. So wait for the regulator to implement their own NCSP in partnership with the DICT. And then later on, we hope that you will work with the regulator in your specific industry. We don't like what happened in Indonesia. It's happening right now to happen in the Philippines. Indonesian government almost shut down its operation because of ransomware. We don't like that to happen to us. So why please support the DICT or pressure them. Bilisan nyo, implement nyo ni NCSP. Diba? Okay. Okay, compliance involves the employees also conduct business in accordance with legal requirements. Given yan, definitely. And ethical principles. Again, palaging umangat ang ethics, ano? And of course, key ethical compliance, legal compliance, regulatory, policy, quality standards, of course, other compliance, ethical, financial, and tech. There's compliance and tech. But it has to be written down in going back to governance. Okay, there's one slide that you will take away. This is it. This is how we laid down from GRC, getting the AI, DX, data, cyber in your respective organizations. Along with the laws, for example, the NCSP is mentioned here, along with the Data Privacy Act of 2012. So, to end my presentation, I'd like to emphasize again, governance enables your organizations to reliably achieve your objectives to those capabilities that I mentioned. Right? If you are not part of your, for example, digital transformation team, as a CISO, please get a seat. Right? Or if you haven't yet met your board and presented your plan, in 3 months' time, we're going to defend our budgets right, for 2025. You need to prepare well. Okay, when you meet the board. I have a friend yesterday, actually interviewed, for group CISO role. But he wasn't able to make it because the feedback of the HR director to him is that you're not ready for board level discussions. Okay? I'm repeating that. So he was surprised. And he's very good at his craft, several years already as a CISO from another organization. And that was the main point that why he was not hired. He wasn't ready for board level decisions. So my dear CISOs, we'll be launching a GRC training soon, focus on you. So let's get on. We'd like to enable you to have that board level discussion with your board. Otherwise, your efforts will be futile and vain. It's like an uphill battle all the time. Okay? Second, risk management effectively addresses uncertainties. Always think that the worst can happen. Okay? And last but not least, compliance compels organizations to act with integrity. And that's my 15 minutes to you. Thank you very much. Again, congratulations in advance to all of those who did work. Let's connect through LinkedIn, Sama Hova, and that's the email of our organization. Maraming salamat po, Buhay Pilipinas. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sam Hakova. Our next agenda is all about making sense of cybersecurity tabletop exercises. Our next speaker is the Vice President of IT at EEI Corporation. He will share his expertise on the importance of